This conference will now be recorded.
Well, thank you all for joining me on our virtual networking meeting on September the 21st. As you can see, we've got a full house today, so thank you all very much. Um, we are recording this, and I will send you the recording later today when it becomes available. So just a quick note on kind of the agenda. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to mute everybody and unmute you one at a time to let you do a 1 or 2 minute introduction to the rest of the group. And especially today, because we've got a full house with 10 people, please try to keep it to a minute or two. Then after that, I'll open it up so that we can ask questions of each other. Hopefully the introductions triggered some questions from other people that are participating here. Don't forget two things. One, put your contact information in the chat. I'll also send that out after the meeting so people can get a hold of you if they want to have a one-on-one conversation after this meeting. And two, don't forget to say maybe where you're from geographically, because we have a dispersed crowd today, and what would be a good client or referral for you. And then the third part of the meeting is, if hopefully we still have a little bit of time, I'd like to keep it to somewhere between 45 minutes and an hour. Certainly not more than an hour, because now everybody's doing Zoom, and I'm sure a lot of you have other video chats to hop on here at least for 3 p.m. Eastern on my side. But we'll open it up for general conversation if people want to talk about how business is going on their side, coronavirus, businesses open or closing, whatever. And again, we'll try to wrap it up somewhere between 45 minutes and the hour. Okay, so we will start, and I'm going to unmute people kind of in the same order that I have them on my list, which is kind of funny. It only took me about a year to figure out it's alphabetical. I think Alejandra had to tell me that. But the good news is she's an old pro, so she knows exactly how this goes. So, Alejandra, if you could please introduce yourself to the rest of the group, and same thing, where you're geographically and who would be a good referral for you.
Well, hello, everybody. Nice to meet you guys. I always start by thanking Sal, because he thanks to him is that we have this place here. It's good to see some familiar and friendly faces and some new faces as well. My name is Alejandra. I am right now in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Not for long though. We're looking into moving to Texas, but it really doesn't matter, I guess, these days where one lives. So I'm never abandoning Sal and his networking team. But I actually work with a company, or I don't work there. I actually own my own business within a company. It's called ACN. I'm a regional vice president with ACN. And what ACN does is we market services, essential services that people and businesses don't know how to live without, from your electricity all the way to your internet, identity theft protection, merchant services, television. So anything that really is an essential service, for whether that is an individual or a business. And what I do like that I say is I don't sell services. I actually help everyday people, common people, build residual income. I was a banker for 23 years of my life. I was vice president at American Express, and this completely freed me up from the chain. I've been doing it for 7 years, my husband for 17 years. We're global. I have businesses in actually 27 countries. Myself, I'm in 7 of those 27, so it's exciting. And who a good referral for me is one, any business owner that is looking for a retirement plan, or having a second stream of income, or maybe doing a little bit less during COVID. And then I'm working heavily in the real estate world. So any real estate professionals, agents, brokers, mortgages, title, all those people, property managers, investors, they're always in front of the customer. So we have created and developed a concierge service where the real estate professional generates residual income with an ancillary service, with something that they're already doing. So that is also a great referral for me. And I am looking forward to meeting you guys all individually outside of here, because I believe that relationships is how I built my whole entire business. So thank you so much, Sal, for everything.
Well, thank you, Alejandra. And One of the nice things about these meetings too is usually we get about a 50-50 mix between people that have been here before and new people. So it makes it interesting for the people that come here regularly to meet new people, and then the new people are obviously meeting some of the regulars. The next one on my list is a very special person because she does something very similar to me, but much more romantic. So Barb, if you could please introduce yourself to the rest of the group.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Barbara Klein. I'm the love coach. I own The Best You Dating and Life Coaching. I love helping singles who are frustrated and lonely by teaching them how to discover their own self-worth so they can fall in love with someone they're more aligned with. My ideal client is someone who is unattached, single, widowed, divorced, who either is online trying to date and not having success, or is fearful of the online dating world, or just feels so scared about getting back out there in the dating world after being in a very long-term relationship marriage. And so I help them figure out who they really are, what they're truly looking for, how to elevate themselves in the experience of dating, and to be aware of the feelings, the connection, the red flags, so that when you do meet somebody who you feel a positive connection and alignment with, you can figure out whether they truly are your ideal mate by paying attention to the red flags and the signs, or all the good stuff that really does match your heart. So thank you again. I'm Barbara Klein, the love coach. I live in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, but I work virtually from anywhere with anybody anywhere. Thanks.
Excellent. And our next person, by the way, I'm very excited to have on because it's the first time that she comes to one of our networking events. But I will say this, and I don't want to steal her thunder. So the only thing I will say is she has recently written a book. Joanne Forrester, who's my co-host on the interview show, we interviewed her. So we have an author with us, and I'll leave it at that and let her introduce herself and say about that and her coaching and consulting practice and everything else.
All right, awesome. Thanks, all. So I am Diane Wingerter. I am the career strategist. So as Barb connects individuals in the love arena, I connect individuals with the company that they should be working with. So same thing, we do a lot of matchmaking, look at values, what's important to you, what are your deal breakers, those kind of things. So similar thought process to what you do when you're looking for a spouse is what you're doing when you're looking for employment as well, a career opportunity, because you're probably going to spend more time at work than you may with your spouse. So anyway, so the book that Sal was alluding to is called Hunting to Hired. So it takes a client all the way through, or the reader, I'll put it that way, the reader all the way through the journey of knowing where to go, what to do, what to say, how to get noticed in front of a prospective employer. So it's very exciting to work with individuals and help them in that aspect of their life because it is so critical, such a critical component. So I'm looking for individuals that are unemployed, that are underemployed, and I also have a special program and way that I work with college students. So those are 3 of my B2C target audiences, and that's what we'll leave it at today. So unemployed, underemployed, or college students can certainly benefit from the wisdom that I have to share with them. So Diane Wingerter, the career strategist, I resolve the entire career search quandary.
Excellent. And now we have a person that I think is new to our group. So Fran Babashak, if you could please, same thing, take a minute or two, introduce yourself, where you are geographically, who would be a good client or referral for you, and welcome to our group, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much, Sal. I've met Sal twice on the Network After Work National Networking, and I really appreciate the invite. So I am Fran Babishak. I'm located outside of Richmond, Virginia, and I'm working in my 5th year of having my own business with Arbonne. And Arbonne is a 40-year-old health and wellness company that is all botanically based, and we have nutrition, skincare, makeup, bath and body. But my passion is the nutrition. I really love all the wonderful shakes and supplements, and especially the workout products that we offer. And the 30-day clean eating program is my number one product that I love to share because it's changed my life, my health so much. And I love helping other people feel that good as I do. And we run it on the 1st and 3rd Monday of every month. So I'm looking for people who have been overeating during COVID and feeling their worst and just really want to cleanse out and feel better. But also, like Alejandra, I am building a team, and I'm looking for anybody who would like to supplement their income, or maybe they're unemployed and they want to get something going right away that's super flexible. I absolutely love this. And just like Diane was saying about matching people with their culture and their values, I adore Arbonne's culture, and I just love waking up every day because it's so fulfilling and uplifting, and we're all about taking care of the planet. Our charitable foundation is all about mental health of teenagers. I just love that we are trying to help people feel their best. So thank you very much for having me.
Well, thank you very much. And next we have, if I can unmute him, Lee Kirsten. So Lee is another new face to our group. Thank you for joining us, and please introduce yourself.
Thanks, Sal. Hi, everyone. My name's Lee. I actually came across Sal both on my own and then at the recommendation of a peer of mine. So excited to see what we can do. I work for a group and actually just getting it off the ground now called Blue Leaf Capital. And we invest in kind of small to mid-sized service-oriented businesses. So think plumbing, HVAC, things like that. I always kind of like to say people in trucks is kind of what we go after. I'm based in Pittsburgh, and yeah, really looking forward to getting to know some folks. And kind of my ideal, I guess, connection would probably be somebody looking to sell a business, looking to retire, or maybe take on some investment to expand.
Okay, excellent. Thank you. And now we have Mr. Michael Silvers.
Hey, Sal, how are you? I promise I'll do this in 2 minutes or less. Hello, everyone. Just making sure they're awake and alive. So my name is Michael Silvers. Really, here's the snapshot. Last 20 years, I basically lived on the road with Tony Robbins, Robert Kiyosaki, and Harv Eker. I built courses for them, trainings, been on most of the major stages, and just had a really good time. How's that? So my wife and I have been away from home a lot in the last 20 years. As you can imagine, those schedules with 300 events a year. I've trained them, prepped them, built them, ran all the coaching divisions and all the training divisions. And I'm here today more for legacy. So we decided that all these students, we've seen about 10 million students, just our team alone, and we needed to really bring back, and obviously I know ACN really well, I know Arbonne really well, because we trained a lot of your leaders way back when. But what I'm really doing today is we've created a networking event every single Tuesday that's complimentary. No upcharge, no fee, no nothing. So I'm going to give you the URL for that in a second. My ask really quickly is that you go to thementorstudio.com, which is my podcast, and you subscribe to it. You do that and everything else is free to you. How's that? And I'm really looking for guests because on the show you'll see Steve Mashat, who produced Genesis. Good friends of mine. You'll see Steve Leon at AMC. You'll see John Yoshai, who's second in command at Instagram. But I'm always looking for great guests with great content that are a lot of fun. Does that make sense? I got shows lined up for a year, not a problem. But I'm always looking for that next person who's just a lot of fun, a big bunch of laughs, entertains people while they're driving. LA, go to LA. People are still driving and on the road. And I'm here just to support. Always happy to ask questions. I've seen probably 400,000 businesses, and always willing to drop a tidbit in and just be there. I'm a grandparent of 5, and so I'm here. That's legacy time. I'm building a world for my grandkids, and anything I can do to make that better, that's the reason I'm here. Is that good, Saul?
That's perfect. I love
And
it.
go to the chat. I'll drop it in the chat right now. There we go. So you go to thementorstudio.com and you become a member of the podcast. And also, if you got a great show, let me know. But then go to WD Workshops and you can be part of and you're going to look for the fair. It's free. It's every Tuesday. And it's a networking group run by myself and a big digital media company. There's no upsell. There's no charge. There's no nothing. I like that.
I love it. I love it. All right. Thank you very much. And as we get through, Tammy, I think you might have to unmute yourself from your side, but I've unmuted you from my side. So if you could please introduce yourself and again, a new face to the group.
Okay.
Okay, we can hear you now. Oh, did Tammy freeze?
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
What is going on? Okay, awesome. Hi, my name is Tammy Jenkins. I'm coming to you out of Texas, the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex to be exact. I live in Cedar Hill. My office is in Farmers Branch. I'm a financial advisor with Primerica Financial Services. And an ideal client for me would be someone that's looking for a life insurance review. But like most of you on here, I'm also looking to build a team. So I'm looking for someone that's looking to make extra income, someone who wants to eventually have their own business. We deal with all types of services, and we're also partnered with clients like Vivid, the security. We do auto and home. We do several things. We're also getting back into the mortgage industry. So I'm looking for a variety of things, but I'm really happy to be here and network with you all and make new friends. That was my excitement for the day.
Well, thank you very much. Very nice for me to meet you, and I'm sure I speak for everyone in the group, and it's always fun to have new faces. I'm sorry?
I was looking up, my camera cut off. It was weird.
No,
Sorry.
there you are.
Sorry about that.
Okay, very good. Well, we'll come back to you in the general session here. And Tom, if you want to introduce yourself to the group, where you are geographically, and same thing, what a good referral would look like for you.
Well, hey, everybody. Can you all hear me? I first met Sal just last week in a network after work, and I always love to reconnect with people that I've met once or twice before and meet new people. My name is Tom McManaman. I founded and run a strategic marketing and branding firm called Stimulus Brand Communications. We're in Ewing, New Jersey, just sort of the central part of New Jersey, just below Princeton. It's 19 years old. I started it literally right after 9/11. And we serve everything from startup companies with investor backing to mid-size and national corporations. We do a lot of corporate rebranding and helping, as I said, startups, companies start from the ground up. So we're very, very strategic. We're very strong in brand positioning. And we also act as a consulting company for those that just want to work with us as a strategic consulting outfit. We do a lot of work in identity and web design, social media, full-scale media advertising, all of the different media vehicles we engage in with our clients. Some of our biggest clients are Prudential Mortgage Capital out of Chicago, Philadelphia Insurance Companies, which is a national insurer based obviously in Philadelphia. We're very big in education, technology, healthcare, and financial services, among other things. I also am a keynote speaker. I also have written and published 2 books. One is on brand positioning called The Position Player, which is on Amazon, and another on personal branding. I love to speak to groups to help them walk away with some new content to do something with. So I'm thrilled to meet some new people and learn more about you.
Perfect. And Tom, if you haven't done it, please put the links to your books and anything else in the chat. Because again, after all this meeting gets wrapped up, and when I send the video out, I actually send a copy of the chat to everybody, so they have all that good information.
Excellent. Thank you.
And Yona, who is one of our regulars, before I let you introduce yourself, I'm going to make a deal with you. We have these meetings every 2 weeks. And if in 2 weeks you remind me, I will start the list backwards and let you go first. And, sorry for Alejandra, but she's gotten to go first a bunch of times. So that's okay. We'll let you go first and work backwards next time if you remind me. But anyway, Yona Kwan.
I blame my mother for giving me the name, so we'll go there. I'm Yona Cohn. I am based out of New York City. I am a proud father of 4 kids. Next year, God help me, I will have 3 teenage daughters living in the same home as me. So pray for me, please. I am in the financial services world. I have 10 plus years experience. Up until the pandemic really hit America, I was a jack of all trades. I was doing everything, wealth management, insurances, whatever someone needed. And when the pandemic hit and everyone had to reset sort of personal and life, what I noticed and what really hit me was the unemployment numbers. And it really made me rethink my attitude about money and about how I can help people. And what was really affecting most people was their income. So I rebranded my practice and I now focus only on income protection. What that means for you is going to be different for everyone else. We all have needs, we all have wants, we all have goals, we all have desires. How we reach those, what's important to us is going to be different. So there's no one size fits all. I work with, I guess on the lower income end would be someone who's just making ends meet, Uber driver, to someone who is worth about $25 million. I am willing to have a conversation with anyone who's willing to give me their time. Anyone is great. Looking to have as many conversations with people. I love to meet new people. I love to help people. And I want to thank Sal again for this wonderful platform that he has built for us. So thank you, Sal. And Sal, don't forget to introduce yourself.
Oh, thank you, Yona, because you're absolutely right. I get all wrapped up in these things. I forget to introduce myself. So thank you for saying that. And I see Alejandra nodding there. So obviously my name is Sal Acosta. I'm a business broker. I help people buy and sell businesses. And real quick, just to put some numbers around that, anything that has 10 to 250 employees, anything that has 0 on the low side, basically a startup to 10 or $20 million in revenue, and something that hopefully still has positive cash flow in spite of the coronavirus, from 0 to about $1 million or $2 million in positive cash flow. Ideal customer is someone that started their business 10, 20, 30 years ago, is now in that range of 60 to 80 years old and wants to retire and play with the grandkids, go to Florida, play golf, take the RV cross country. And I always tell them, before you can do all those things in style, you got to come see me so we can cash you out and you have that capital to be able to do all those fun things. And that's pretty much it. I'm in the Pittsburgh area, but now that everybody's getting used to working on Zoom and GoToMeeting and video chats, I'm willing to help anybody across the country as long as they're willing to work with me. I'm going to unmute everybody now. Hopefully the introductions have triggered some questions in the minds of other people. The only thing that I'm going to ask is one of the differences between these video chats and a live meeting is, in a live meeting, when 2 people speak at the same time, you can still hear them both. In these video chats, if 2 people try to speak at the same time, then you can hear neither. So please try to be courteous and take, everybody speak one at a time. But Anyway, from my side, everybody's unmuted. So does anybody have any questions for anybody else?
I have a question for
Diane, where did you say you're located?
I did not say that. Good catch. I am in the land of the Buckeyes. I am Ohio State.
Ohio.
Smack dab in the middle, Columbus, Ohio. And so, yeah, home of the Buckeyes.
Are you a Buckeye?
I did not graduate from there, but yes, my veins are scarlet and gray. So yes.
There you go.
Yeah, if you live there, it's the way. Well, my whole family are Bruins and Trojans, so we're like old fans. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
No. Here, listen, we're going to run a very simple, very quick test. Diane, you ready?
Yeah.
OH!
IO.
Never failed.
I passed.
What did you say? What did you say? I didn't hear it.
IO, the rest of it. It's
When two people from Ohio meet, like one guy will go OH, two letters in Ohio. And
Sorry.
Ohio.
Gotcha.
It's our
silly,
mating
but it
call.
never
There you
fails.
go, Barbara.
I'm sorry.
I said it's our mating call. How about that to tie into your industry?
All right, go Steelers. We'll just say that.
Sal, is there a reason why you've capped these calls at 10 people?
Well, so yes, the reason is originally this was actually a live lunch meeting that we used to have in the Pittsburgh area. And when we first started doing this, and I didn't know anything, I just put it on Meetup and I put it on LinkedIn. And our first meeting, like 40 people showed up. And so I was having conversations with the people to my right and to my left, and I had no clue what was going on in the rest of the group. And I really wanted it to be one single conversation, so I capped it at 10. And to be honest with you, I think it's kind of the same thing, maybe even more important for these video chats. I would like to have a single conversation, so that's the reason it's capped at 10.
Has any of us had any serious struggle through this with your business?
Well, I have several businesses, so yeah, you ebb and tide. So one of them, I'll say I put on the shelf, and then really spun forward with the hunting to hired. So it was on my heart in 2019. But
what else did you do, Diane?
I'm sorry.
What else did you do?
I have one company called Totally Exposed, which is a marketing company. I have a business development group called Synergy National. I'm also branded as the trade show doctor. So I coach people on how to be effective at live face-to-face events, and then branded the career strategist as a new brand to write the book. So I wrote that during COVID. I wrote the book during COVID, and got it published and had a book launch, and here we are.
Wow.
Well, hold on,
That's
Diane.
fast. That's very fast.
I do know a little bit about your bio profile because, again, Joanne Forrester and I did an interview, but I'm going to go from memory here, and I don't think I'm wrong. I'm going to go out on a limb. At one point, you owned a company that had 1,700 retail outlets. Is that right?
Oh, not 1,700, my dear, 17.
All right. Okay.
But I hired 1,900 people in my life, so maybe that's where you were crossing up with that. So yeah, I've hired 1,900 individuals in corporate / in my entrepreneurial endeavors. But yeah, I had 17 retail stores in 5 states.
Well, it's probably the work like if it was 1,700.
But thank you. I'm glad I was that big in your mind.
You show up big, he plays big. See?
Diane,
I think too.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Diane, how would you charge a college student? Would you have an initial consultation?
Yeah, that's free for a college student, the initial consultation. So yeah, my pricing is lower for someone that's in college.
Okay.
Yes. Because I realize, only realistic.
Yeah. We need a lot of help now.
I think too, part of the, what's gone on is because you take a look at, we had 300 live events a year. Okay. So you go from 300 live events sitting in Miami in March to zero. within 10 days, we had launched, 300 hours of virtual. And it's not as easy as it sounds, right? Everybody, that's not easy. But I think it's the mindset that you have of what decision am I going to make at that moment? We could have just shut the doors and said, let's come back in 2 years. But there is that, if I'm truly being of service and I'm truly out there to make a difference, then it's up to me to be the one to surround yourself with the right team, right? Entrepreneur, solo entrepreneur, stop doing it alone. But to surround yourself with a team and to keep the message going in the way people can hear it. People are zoomed out. I mean, we do Zooms with hundreds. Tony just did it for 22,000 people and 12,000 now in Australia. But knowing that people are zoomed out, how else can I make communication? How can I make it short, compact, they get the message, and at the same time, it's not about me. And if you keep putting that message out there, you can make a difference in this world. For the network marketers, it's a world I came from 22 years ago. It actually launched me free first and then met Bob Proctor, and that was that. But it's the kind of thing where people are hurting right now. They're looking for something different. They don't want to do what they were normally doing. So how do you fulfill that role for them in a small or a big way? And I think that's the big. And how do I provide services that fit for them right now, knowing I can tell you Instagram, they're going through, there's coming some huge updates on back ends of the big boys. But how do I stay ahead of that? And how do I, like iOS 14 launched without the developers coming. So all the developers are pissed. But some developers knew. So how do I always stay on top of everything going on? And how do I stay out front? Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing. We're already planning events in 2022. We're doing European tour, blah, blah, blah. But we're always looking ahead, but how are we servicing now? And I think that's the biggest thing. That's how you get yourself through it. And I don't mean to make this a mindset thing, but we did a huge shift. There was terror for a moment within, and let's just close the doors and come back in 2022. But that doesn't serve people then. That's, I think, how you have to, the business keeps moving forward. And that's why, like the Tuesdays, sounds like shameless promotion, I know, but why are they free? Why don't they cost anything? Why is it? Because it's just bringing people back together. And if you just bring people back together, let them find where they want to land. And I think that's the critical piece. And, don't pigeonhole them into your business because, oh my God, I need business. Let them find where they land and the right people will come. But surround yourself with a team.
A question related to that to the group, anyone that wants to answer. I know when this whole coronavirus thing first started, and of course at the beginning we had some lockdowns, which are now kind of easing up and becoming a little wishy-washy, but a lot of people were getting just depressed because they couldn't leave the house, and that sort of mental sanity was a big deal. Do you guys has that gone away? I haven't heard anything about that in a while. So has that gone away, or is it still there? Go ahead, Barb.
Go ahead, Barbara.
My experience is that people are at least venturing out and trying different things to see how it feels, including myself. And but no, people, even in the dating world, people are still like, well, how can I meet somebody face to face and not really meet them face to face? How can I even go on a date with somebody where we maintain social distance? It's difficult to imagine, but it can be done. And I've been promoting video chatting with somebody that you're just communicating with to see if there's even a possibility whether you should go on a actual first date. And as far as live first dates or live dates, my recommendation is go for a walk, meet at an outside venue where you can sit and talk, but still be somewhat safe. And, obviously you're going to have to wear a mask if you're around other people, but you can take off the mask for a minute or two in order to visualize the other person better. so there's different ways to do things, and I think we just have to find what we are each comfortable with and how we want to move forward with that. And some people have chosen to just sort of wait until things are back to quote unquote normal. But again, you know, if you're lonely and wanting to find somebody to at least have some companionship in your life, then you've got to be able to think outside the normal box.
To Michael's point, we in the branding, corporate branding and advertising world, we think 10 months to a year and beyond ahead. We're always thinking what's happening, you know, 2 or 3 seasons ahead. And so that threw me into a big worry. We lost a lot of business because chiefly what we do is corporate branding. And most corporations were not even thinking about that. They're worrying about 6 feet apart. How many people do we need to let go? Do we need a loan to carry us over? All of those things. And only now are we beginning, just this month in September, beginning to hear from corporate leaders who might, you know, if we were a fly on the wall, we're hearing them in their boardroom saying, okay, this has gone on longer than we expected. Where the hell are we? We don't even know what we need, but we know that we need some strategic, smart direction. And it's a lot of what we do in phase 1 with our clients, but we never formalized that. That was just sort of the introductory and the discovery phase when we begin to work with someone. So we formalized it in our website as a consultancy so that you can work with us just in a consultant's role. Because they're not ready yet to think about, do we need a new identity? Do we need a refreshed website? Do we need a whole new social digital media plan? We provide all of that, but they're not there yet. You know, because we don't really have a handle around how we're going to restaff a building and bring the numbers back by the end of the year. You know, so one of the things that we did while we're preparing and re-strategizing and pivoting, as they say, that word pivot, we provided a free social media feature. We drafted and created a feature on 72 companies, one day after the next for 72 days for free. None of them knew we were doing it. It was a big surprise in the marketplace that they got a boost. And it was to help remind people to continue to support these businesses now during the pandemic and as we come out of the pandemic. So we were giving that away. And in so doing, it creates a lot of visibility for us, goodwill, but we're not charging anything, or we didn't. You know, we sort of ended it. And at the same time, pivoting on how we offer our business. And it's starting to come back because starting, as I said, late August, beginning of this month, we were getting phone calls. Can we work with you on a consulting basis? Or what we had planned together over the summer is still there, but we want to start in October. Are you okay with that? So, you know, you can't bring yourself back opportunity by sitting in a dark corner. You have to get out there.
Well, let me ask this question for other people in the group. Has somebody done a freebie or a special discount or anything like that strictly because of COVID? And I mean, I don't want to say associated with COVID because that sounds weird, but because of COVID, has anybody done a special freebie or a discount just to keep your name out there and keep doing stuff?
Hey, Sal,
Well,
something we
one of the things that
Go ahead,
go
Tammy.
ahead, Tammy.
Okay, I was going to say one of the things that my company offers anyway is the free financial needs analysis. So that's one of the things that we just started pushing even harder because people need, you know, they need a budget. They need to still, you know, feel like they're in control and stay on track. And that's just one of the things we started pushing harder because it's free, number one, and it gives you a sense of self-control throughout all of this because a lot of people started to feel like they were losing control of their lives, you know, like what's next? What's this? Well, if you can think about it and have it in writing and keep moving forward, it just keeps you in the present a little bit longer. I know that sounds bad, but it keeps them moving versus falling back and thinking about, all of the devastations that were going on in the world.
Yeah. Oh, I'll tell you guys very personally. I mean, I honestly think I have not been psychologically affected by the coronavirus as much, simply for two reasons, maybe. One is, under normal circumstances, I always had a plan to work from home on Mondays and Fridays. So now, instead of being Mondays and Fridays, it's Monday through Friday. And I was always a big proponent and a big fan of video chats. I do video chats whenever I could, meaning the other party was sophisticated enough to be able to do a video chat, quite honestly, even before the coronavirus. But I will tell you, for example, my mother in Miami, I can tell to this day, she is completely depressed. I mean, is really taken a psychological stumble because of this, simply because she can't go out. And I mean, she does the absolute minimum. I mean, she's got to go out to buy food and things like that, but she knows. So anyway, she has been very, very affected by this coronavirus. And I suspect different people are responding in different ways and getting affected to different levels.
Mm-hmm.
It's really, really important to make your life balance. We've heard people talk about that before, but get your butt up away from the computer every now and then. Take a walk, or do some gardening, or do whatever your passion is, your simple little thing. But to make time for it, because if not, like I've had these days where I'm here from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. right here, and then you're going to explode. Your head's going to explode, and then you end up exploding to someone who calls you or to your own family. So you have to get up. We make a habit. Everyone in my family is very physically fit, and we go to a gym every morning. Well, we couldn't go to the gym anymore. So I went to the nearby college and just did cross training around the perimeter of the school and the track 6 days a week until about 2 weeks ago, when our gym was finally able to reopen. So I never missed a beat, and it made a huge difference in, number one, keeping me healthy, but two, mentally healthy, like sort of light and free, and keep being a creative thinker and being able to address the load of work. So, because I feel like I've been getting my master's degree in Zoom. There's been so many meetings every day, and I do, maybe 5 or 6 keynotes a year. And so every one of the ones that I had scheduled, I had to convert to doing it this way instead of live in front of an audience. And that was a treat.
So I tell you guys, Tommy, it's so right what you were saying. What I feel like, especially I think on my end, and I think the network marketers in the group, even Michael, I think we're not affected. On the contrary, right? So we're exponentially growth just because we have a further reach. Whereas before, I was a little limited. If somebody tell me, hey, I have my best friend in Portland, Oregon, and they're so interested, I'll be a little hesitant because I know what I need to do next week, which I do it all the time, hop on a plane and go. But the problem is not that week that I can be there to do the meeting, is next week when people sign up, I have to go back, and I have to, when I go open a new market, I had to, said, okay, I'm committed to go back as many times as I need to start the events, to set up the training events, which we used to do in hotel rooms. I mean, the expenses for us, like, we dropped $50,000 a month on expenses in my household from hotel rooms and, and events. And so for us, it was that way where we were able to further reach. However, to agree with Tom, the mindset, people are mourning. They're mourning for different reasons. Some because they're trying to adjust to homeschooling, some because they're trying to adjust to Zoom, some because they're lonely, some because they're sick and tired of their home. So when you come into any given meeting, you have to come with the idea that people are mourning the normal way that we used to do things. Mm-hmm. And so how we found to do things is to put people in the right mindset. When I do small presentations, I make everybody introduce themselves real quick. Tell me where you're from, what do you do, one thing that you're grateful for. And because I ask them one thing that they're grateful for, they go into that mindset of gratitude, and there is no place for negativity in that mindset of gratitude. So that's the one thing that I have implemented in my meetings, and you know, Fran and Tammy sharing with you just in case you want to implement it. And it's one thing short. You know, I don't have to spend the whole meeting. I'm gonna ask people what do they do anyway to just create that rapport and see how am I gonna speak with them, because I talk differently to people depending what they do for a living. So that's that one thing. And then the second thing is we have done, and our Friday night leaderships used to be by region. So I would have like my Pittsburgh team going, my Dallas team going, all at the same time. I have my leaders, you know, doing the meetings. We did the same thing, but now we're bringing everybody together. And we're finding that we have hundreds of people in it. Now, how do we make them not fall asleep through 2 hours of Zoom or 3 hours of Zoom that were in leadership? And we found it's like in between the topic training, sometimes we wake them up, we put like a super happy song, like the happy song, like, you know, like because I'm happy song, and we make people dance and we highlight and spotlight people. And that brings the energy of the meeting so much higher, and people are having fun. And we bring a keynote speaker. It doesn't matter if it's in our team, outside our team, you know, outside, like somebody big outside of ACN, somebody to come in and really talk mindset with them, which is what Michael was talking about. And people are looking forward to that, and they want to know who it is. And so they come in to just see who they have at the end. And then, you know, we wake them up throughout by dancing, spotlighting, and having fun together. And then at the end, if you want to drop off, you drop off. If you want to stay sharing what you know, were more impacted by that meeting on that Friday. And so people get that little bit of that social interaction, which I think is what's missing right now.
Yeah, the other thing we've done too, which is a great, that's a great strategy you're doing, and I'll let you know, because when you do a lot of calls, which you live on calls, I do too. It's the world we live in. But what we've done on these big calls, we'll have like 6-hour summits going. You know, if it's Tony Robbins on, people are going to watch him no matter what, right? And he's always active and interactive. But for anybody else, we try to limit. So we had back-to-back Sharon Lechter, Kevin Harrington, and Mark Victor Hansen, and 22 minutes. That's it. Because past that, people are not listening anymore and they get wrapped up. The other thing we do is we don't back to back the speakers, or if you're speaking on bring a panel on. People because a panel can be interactive and people really enjoy panels. So and panels only need to be 15, 20 minutes. I run the panels for 20 minutes for 4 people. And it could be high net worth, it could be people, it could be the everyday mom. It doesn't matter, but it's somebody who's interesting. Use panelists and keep the answers short and sweet, like you're doing a podcast show. The other thing that's really helpful now is to keep them engaged. So that's great. Everybody love the content we're talking about today. Put a 1 in the chat right now. Fantastic. 1. You guys keep that going all the time. Every 3 to 5 minutes, they're interacting on chat. There you go. Thank you. That keeps them moving, and that gets them out of the it's another call. And turn your cameras on. You know what? I want you dressed, and we use Zoom because I can really be interactive with Zoom, and I can do a lot with Zoom, and they can use their virtual backgrounds, and they're all happy because they don't care what they're wearing and what they dress or look like. But I always say turn your cameras on. Everybody turn, as long as you're wearing a shirt, turn your cameras on, because we want to see you and hear you. We want to know what you're doing, right? We had a speaker the other night. I won't even say anything. I won't tell you who it is, but it's like I knew what he was wearing. I'm like, that's fine as long as you got a shirt on. So, but it's that part. That's how you keep your teams, right? That's how you do those big management calls, because you can have, even on a 1-to-1, keep them engaged. They're like, you're probably their 5 millionth 1-to-1. So Alejandra, that's exactly with teams. We're doing that a lot with the teams now, and we're just keeping that interaction going. We're masterminding, because we did Tony's Platinum Partnership, and I built the one next to it. So we're almost creating that mastermind feel again, so everybody feels involved.
Yeah. And by the way, one of the challenges with video chats, and I've noticed this with different video chats that I'm on, is 2 things, but and they're kind of similar. One is when you're doing a video chat with somebody, they might be looking at the screen. It seems like they're looking at you and paying attention, but they're really reading their emails or their text messages or something else. Or, which is not as bad, but it's still distracting. Like you'll tell them like something and they'll go Google it, or they'll go look up your own website or something. But now their attention is kind of moving in 2 directions. They're kind of listening to you and watching you on the video, but they're also looking at your website or some Google thing on the other side. And so I think it's a little bit more demanding to keep somebody's attention because they have these other things that they can just go off and do. But
Yeah, and especially iOS update, everybody's playing with it, so stop doing that. You're right, Self. That's exactly right. Oh, the other thing too, can I just jump on one thing? I hate to, I don't mean to, we let their grandkids run across the screen. Be okay with being at home, and it's all, we're all home based, right? Everybody, for those, I live in Microsoft, Amazon. They just said they're going back in 2022, it looks like. And so let that be okay. Say it at the beginning of your call. We're going to have a great call today. If your dog barks, if your cat runs, get a comfort level so they don't feel they have to keep turning off.
Yeah, I have a grandson that was over one day, and he came in right behind me and started playing the drums.
Yeah, I saw the drum set back.
Well, let me share a suggestion, by the way, that I read in the other day in an article talking about this Zoom fatigue and people having 8 hours of Zoom meetings. In Germany, what they're doing, and they have a word for it, which I'm not even going to try to say, but basically they have a word that's kind of like a ritual for the end of the workday and the transition into sort of your home time. And what they do over there is when they're done with all their Zoom calls and they're going to transition to their Zoom time, it's always the same ritual. That's important. And for them, it's they have a beer. Okay, this is Germany. So when they close out all their Zoom calls and again, they're ready to relax, be with the family or just for personal time, they have a beer, and that's kind of the signal that now you're on your personal time. So create your signal. It could be, for Tom, maybe doing some exercise or whatever, or baking or something, but create a little ritual.
Banging on the drums.
I do that already, but I'll take the beer. Thank you. I'm Irish. I'll take the beer.
Then you'll take a Guinness.
Yeah, right.
I have one thing I want to add about something else I do. I have, as part of my community giving, I have 2 meetup groups. Yes, I did create them here in Pittsburgh, but they are virtual now. And so one is called Self-Improvement Singles, and the other is called Surviving and Thriving Divorce. And since we've been virtual, I've been doing 2 a month. So I have meetings for each of those groups. Next week, I think it's Monday and Tuesday. They start Eastern time, 7 p.m. So if you're interested, just go on Meetup and search for Self-Improvement Singles and Surviving and Thriving Divorce. I'll put it in the chat. And you're welcome to join us. We've had people from all over the country come in. So thank you.
Okay. Well, guys, let me do something because we are actually just hitting the 2:56 mark here. And I do want to get everybody off before 3 in case you've got a back-to-back 3 p.m. Zoom call or anything else. All I want to say is 2 things. Number one, of course, first of all, thank you for joining us and thank you for sharing and thank you for the great conversation. 2 things that hopefully they're not contradictory. We're going to have our next meeting in exactly 2 weeks. So it'll be Monday, October the 5th at 2 p.m. Eastern time. Please remember the activity is capped at 10 people. And once we get to 10, Meetup just doesn't even let you sign up. So if you'd like to join us again, please sign up early. And also invite a guest. Because it's fun for some of us that are regular to meet new people. Hopefully it's interesting for the new people to meet some of the regulars. Speaking of which, here is the little genius.
There he is.
Oh, little genius is not, I'll let him go. But anyway, that's it. We'll do it again in 2 weeks. Please sign up so you don't lose your spot. There's only 10, and please invite a guest. And thank you all very much for coming. I'll shoot a link to the video. I'll shoot a copy of the chat to everybody that's here.
Thank you, Sal.
Sal.
Thank you, everybody. Great to meet you all.
You too. Take care.
Bye, everyone.
Take care.
You all.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hey, Saul, make sure you come tomorrow.
All right.
Okay.
Well done, Saul. See you all.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.